This is the hardware I have on the driver's side. I got one short bolt and two long ones. I have no idea where it should go yet. We'll find out. And here's what I have for the passenger side. Same thing as the other side. How many? I got about 8 washer and about 6 lock washer on this side. And notice the shape of the bracket at the front of the slider. They're not marked, so it took me a little bit of time to figure out which side, which piece go to which side. I'm using this bolt back here as a guide. When I do that, none of the hole matching at all. None of them. They're about an inch off where it's supposed to be. Here's the finished installation. These 2 bolts are the long one that you have seen before. So that is where they go. And this is the bracket that goes into the front of the vehicle. I mean the front of the slider. Okay. Don't forget to loosen up this bracket before you put the slider in. And we're gonna swing to the back of it to see the brake line behind the frame rail. Once you install the slider on the driver's side, you got to loosen up this bolt to move the brake line out a little bit. To make it easier, to put your hand in there to put the nut and bolt into that bracket that I showed you earlier. And here's another thing. You got to bend the brake light in line a little bit to make room for this bolt. Same thing over here in the back. You gotta bend it a little bit to make room for that bolt. On this side, I decided to have the nut on the outside of the frame rail because I don't want it to be touching the brake line and cutting it with the nut. I mean with the bolt in on this side. I think it's much better than having a nut on this side. And here's the passenger side. This is the front of the vehicle. And same at the driver's side, these are the 2 long bolts. Okay. And don't forget about this bracket as well. I has the whole thing in place only to discover that that thing was behind the slider. So I gotta take the whole thing out and then redo it. Let's see. It is best to use the jack stand instead the floor jack. At the beginning, of the installation on the passenger side, I was all happy because I have done the hard part. I have finished the driver's side first. However, I discovered for some unknown reason when I used the floor jack, using this bolt as a guide, everything was off by almost 1 inch. I was all frustrated. And then I just put everything aside. The next day when I came out, I was using the jack stand instead the floor jack. And everything was lining up fine. So you may want to keep that in mind. Okay. And here is how it looks from the inside of the frame rail. I hope that that helped. Good luck with your installation. Here's the final product. Slide there on both sides.